Hey everyone! All right, we're heading back to Tuck Everlasting, our read aloud that we've gonna end the year with. So, Tuck Everlasting was written by Natalie Babbitt, and this book is fantasy. We've already kind of talked about genre and the meaning of that. In fact, I think it's your bell ringer today. But genre is kind of the way that books, movies, or things can be grouped. And once again, the genre of this book is fantasy. Okay, we are in chapter 2. To kind of remind us, we've learned kind of mysterious things about this village called Tree Gap. There's a woods, there's a house, and there's a village. And the house is unfriendly looking, but the woods is kind of mysterious and almost wants you to go inside. But it's best that people don't, because there's a tree in there and a stream or something that maybe isn't so good. I want to tell you the next couple days there's going to be a theme happening. The theme is going to be the 3 connections in the prologue we learned about. The 3 things that didn't seem related but come together in a unique way. First, it's going to be the morning at dawn. Then we're going to have at midday and in the evening. So it's the same day. These 3 things are happening and they don't seem connected, but then they become connected. So once again, it's at dawn, midday, and in the evening. So let's get started with chapter 2. And so, at dawn, that first week of August, May Tuck woke up and lay for a while, beaming up at the cobwebs and dust on the ceiling. At last, she said out loud, "The boys'll be coming in tomorrow." May's husband, on his back beside her, did not stir. He was still asleep. The melancholy, which kind of means sad, the sad creases, the melancholy on his daytime face, were smoothed out and still relaxed. Slowly he snored, and for a moment the corners of his mouth turned up in a smile. Tuck almost never smiled, unless he was asleep. May sat up in bed and looked at him intolerantly. "The boys'll be back in tomorrow," she said again a little more loudly. Tuck twitched and the smile vanished. He opened his eyes. "Oh, why'd you have to wake me up?" he sighed. "I was having that dream again, the good one, where we're all up in heaven and none of us had ever heard of Tree Gap." May sat there frowning. She was a great potato of a woman, with a round, sensible face and calm brown eyes. "Now, it's no use in having that dream," she said. "Nothing's going to change." "You tell me that every day," said Tuck, turning away from her onto his side. "Anyways, I can't help what I dream." "Maybe not," said May, "but it's all the same. You've got to get used to things by now." Tuck groaned. "I'm going back to sleep," he said. "Not me," said May. "I'm going to take the horse and go down to those woods and meet the boys." "Meet who?" "The boys, Tuck. Our boys. Our sons." "You better not do that," said Tuck. "Well, I know," said May, "but I just can't wait to see them. Anyway, it's been 10 years since I went to Tree Gap. No one will remember me. I'll ride in at sunset, just to the woods. I won't even go into the village. But even if someone did say me, they won't remember. They never did before, did they?" "Well, suit yourself then," Tuck said into his pillow. "I'm going back to sleep." May Tuck climbed out of bed and began to dress. She put on 3 petticoats, a brown skirt with 1 enormous pocket, and an old cotton jacket that was knitted with a shawl, which she pinned across with a metal brooch. The sounds of her dressing were so familiar to Tuck that he could say what he wanted without opening his eyes. "You don't need that shawl. It's the middle of summer." So the shawl's kind of to keep her a little bit warmer. May ignored his observation. Instead, she said, "Will you be all right? I won't be getting back till late tomorrow." Tuck rolled over and made a face at her. What in the world could possibly happen to me? Well, that's so, said May. I just keep forgetting. I don't, said Tuck. Have a nice time. And in a moment, he was asleep again. May sat on the edge of her bed and pulled on a pair of leather boots. They were so thin and soft with age, she wondered how they had held together. Then she stood and took a washstand that was beside the table, and she took in her hand a small square object. It was a beautiful music box, painted with lilies and roses. It was the one pretty thing that she owned, and she never went anywhere without it. Her fingers strayed to the winding key at the bottom, the key that turns that will play the music. Her hand paused there for a moment, but she glanced at Tuck, who was sleeping. Instead, she gave the box a little pat and dropped it into her pocket. Then, last of all, she pulled over her ears a blue straw hat. All right, so really quickly, I kind of want to stop us here. We learn about this couple. In the morning, this wife gets out of bed and she's like, hey, our sons are coming in. I'm going to go get ready and see them. And the husband's like, hey, be careful when you go into the town, all these things. There's kind of some mystery there. Did something happen in the town that people, like it's dangerous if they go in or someone sees them? I don't know. It seems mysterious. Anyways, she wants to go in to see her sons. So she's getting dressed, ready. She has this beautiful music box that she takes with her. It's probably pretty small, and it's just kind of like, that's her thing. So she takes it with her as she's going into town. Also, something unique is she seems like a pretty interesting dresser. Kind of this brown skirt, this blue hat, these boots, and kind of like this shawl with a brooch. It's just kind of interesting, unique. But before she put on her hat as the final touch, she brushed her brown-gray hair and wound it into the bun at the back of her neck. She did this quickly and skillfully, without a single glance in the mirror. May Tuck didn't need a mirror, though she had one propped up on her washstand. She knew very well what she'd see in it, her reflection. And it had long since changed and long since interested her. For May Tuck, her husband, and her sons, Mile and Jesse too, had all looked the same for 87 years. What? For May Tuck and her husband, Miles and Jesse too, had all looked exactly the same for 87 years. But how?